Hello, welcome to this episode of In the Schools. I'm Donna Vopel with Cranford TV 35 here at Cranford High School on location with Carrie Bacall, who's my guest today. Thanks for joining us, Carrie.
Thank you, Donna.
Or I'm actually on your turf today. It was a nice feeling to come to Cranford High. Both my children went through the schools and I taught here in the town. Anyway, Carrie has come to my attention through Barbara Carroll, one of the assistant principals here at the high school, that Carrie is doing a mindfulness program. Actually, when I was interviewing your principal a couple of months ago, it came up when we were talking about the block scheduling.
Yes.
And the longer lunch periods and mindfulness. And of course, that really kind of perked our attention at the studio. So we wanted to know a little bit more about it. And this is a great opportunity to come up and spend some time with you.
Excellent.
So Carrie, let's just start off with a little bit of your background. I understand You're the nurse, one of the nurses here at the high school.
Yes.
And how did you get involved in this type of program?
Okay. I'm one of the nurses, as you said, in the health office here, and it's been about 6 years since I've been here. Over the last few years, we've been noticing some more somatic symptoms in the students related to stress and anxiety, where they would be getting migraines and stomach issues and just feeling tightness in their chest and a lot of body symptoms related to stress and anxiety. It's very hard to determine illness versus stress and anxiety, but we have professionals here who do that, or our guidance staff. But as nurses, we were noticing, hey, there seems to be something going on. So in speaking to Ms. Carroll, she also was feeling that students were feeling very stressed. She was beginning a program similar to the mindfulness program, so we worked together on that. And I volunteered a couple of years doing the mindfulness program, which was very different when we first started out. Science is always changing and you're learning so much as you go along. So we have this program now. It's offered every Wednesday during the school year, during the lunch program. So mindfulness, the wonderful thing about it is you can incorporate it in many different ways. But this particular program at Cranford High School is about an hour, and the students come during their lunchtime, and they bring their lunch, and we sit and talk about the science behind mindfulness and how to incorporate it into your daily life, how to use it for stress reduction, for many, many things.
So let's back up just a little bit. In addition to your training as a nurse, how did you get involved with mindfulness, that other piece of it?
Yeah, I own a wellness center with my husband. It's called Springfield Holistic Wellness, and it's been about 20 years now. And in my practice there, I see a lot of, I'm also a licensed massage therapist. I went from nursing and still continue to do nursing to realizing people are really stressed out. What can I do to help? So then I went to massage school in a way to try to help them to de-stress. And then I realized this is great while they're receiving the massage, but then once they come off the table, they're stressed again. So it led me to pursue more of an education in helping people deal with and prevent stress in their lives. So that's where mindfulness came in. And also for myself, when my children were young, I had three under three in diapers. Then my fourth one came along, and as a young mom, it was challenging. And we have this wellness center. I don't personally like to take medication, although there's a time and a place, and it can be a wonderful thing. But we use non-drug solutions for healthy living. That's one of our slogans. So mindfulness is a way to help deal with those issues that arise in life without taking meds, if possible.
What are the goals of mindfulness versus, let's say, meditation, or is that a part of it?
Right. I would say the overall goal is to lead a happy life and to enjoy your life and to feel fulfilled.
Hi, I'm here with Johanna, a junior here at Cranford High School and a participant in the mindfulness program. Thanks for joining us today, Johanna.
Thank you for coming.
Tell us a little bit about your participation in the program and what you're getting out of it.
Right, so I've been coming here since last year. It was kind of a way for me to escape from all kind of the craziness at lunch and the craziness of the week, that's for sure. School can be kind of stressful sometimes, but it goes past school. It encompasses all areas of life with sports and your social life and your family life.
So what are some things that you've learned here that you've been able to transfer to something else?
Well, definitely social pressures has been big. If you're you have friends that sometimes you're going to be jealous of, or you can't help these emotions, but it helps to kind of notice these feelings and
Identify your feelings and deal with them in different ways than you might.
Yeah, and for school and sports as well, you get caught up in this competition where you have to be the best at something, you have to get straight A's, but with mindfulness you realize that it's not all about that. It's more about your own happiness and enjoying your own life.
So I'm here with Lexi, who is a junior here at Cranford High School, and we're talking to students who are in the mindfulness program. So tell us a little bit about your part in the program.
So I just joined this year, actually. With the longer lunch, it's a lot easier to come and just de-stress for the day, and it's just a really it helps you get centered in the moment and take your know to take your deep breaths before you do anything stressful, and it's just calming.
Have you noticed a difference in how you react to things?
Oh yeah, a couple weeks ago we did before standardized before tests and APs and stuff, we did a meeting specifically for that, and we did we learned a tapping, which is actually really cool. You do all your there's tapping parts of your body that you do, and it just centers you and focuses you on what you're about to do.
That's great. Are you involved in sports or theater or other types of activities?
Yeah, I do cheer. I do cheer for a majority of the year, and just general heavy academic coursework and clubs and all that stuff. It's definitely a lot that we do.
Well, both my children went to Cranford High. I was a teacher in the district, so I know. And Cranford's a great school district, but you want to do a lot of things. But how do you kind of balance it all? Helps you balance?
Yeah, definitely does. It just helps you focus on what you're doing right at that moment instead of thinking about what's going to happen or think about what already happened. You only focus on what you're about to do.
Enjoy the moment that you're in.
So how is it going this week? Your finals, exams, a lot went on the past couple of weeks, a lot of testing. How was it for you?
I feel like it's been, I couldn't come last week because I was actually taking one of my makeup exams, but I feel like school, there hasn't been a lot of school because I had assembly yesterday, and then, this testing, I've been out of school for 4 hours collectively.
Yeah. You want to say anything?
I just started my internship last week, so I have a lot less actual schooling to do.
Okay.
But it was it's all the stress of what I had. Because you have to make sure all your grades are good before you leave.
Yeah. Because
they kind of lock once you leave. So it was that, getting all the grades in and trying to see if I could make things up to do that.
Yeah. How were you? Did you keep your practice? Did you do your daily practice? All right.
It's
Good.
hard when we don't have.
Absolutely. But going forward in the summertime, you don't need me to do this. Remember, you're equipped with everything you need in order to do this. All you need to know is how to breathe, right? There's no way you could get it wrong at all. There's no way you can get it wrong.
In about an hour, I have a big research presentation. It's all of my research for the whole year. So it could be a stressful situation, but this particular meditation and all of the skills that I have learned have I feel like I'm less nervous than the average person might be, just because I know that it's not the be-all, end-all, it's not the biggest thing in the world, but I am at the same time confident enough to be able to get up there and speak in front of people and not be nervous about it and just kind of stay centered.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
So in the beginning of high school, I was very, very stressed, and usually if I'm overwhelmed, I tend to shut myself down, and then if I procrastinate on something, then I will just continue that. And towards junior year, the middle of junior year, I started doing, when I would see myself shutting down, I would either go out on a run and try to exercise to relieve some stress, or I would just step away from everything and take a couple of breaths and pause for a period of time and then begin again. So I use it mostly for school and in stressful situations that pertain to school, because that's mostly where all my stress is coming from. But it has helped me, and I have seen that. And the end of junior year and senior year has been better for me.
So that was interesting to see students you have in this year's class, juniors and seniors. And
All the 9th through 12th is welcome to
are
come.
welcome to come during
Yes.
the time frame. You yourself, have you observed some differences in the students just in the time that you've been working with the same student for 2 years?
Yes, the confidence, I would say the confidence, and the ability to know that you can make mistakes, and that's okay. You know, resilience. I see a lot of resilience in these young people, and they're not afraid now to try new things because they're not afraid to fail, you know, what they perceive as failing. So I think that's huge.
That is huge, and there's a lot of studies that will back that up. Why given the same environment everyone grows up in, why do some students, why are they more successful than others? It's that resilience. And yet, as a parent, you know, you want your children to always be happy, but they do have to face challenges in life. You know, there are going to be times when they're not picked for this, or, you know, they got the third out in the baseball game, and, you know, so how do you deal with that and bounce back without it, you know, ruining the rest of your life, let's just say. And that resilience is really key. It's very vague to deal with, but it's very important. We also talked earlier about kind of dispelling some myths about mindfulness. Mindfulness is not set. You mentioned.
There's a few things mindfulness is not. It's not a religion. It's not a cult. It's not about discipline necessarily, because when I go into the classrooms with the younger students and teach some of the teachers, it's not helpful to use it as a disciplinarian technique. And it is not about being calm and happy. A lot of people are surprised about that, but the reason we say that is because it's about being present with whatever you're feeling in the moment, and recognizing it, naming it, and then deciding how you want to respond rather than react.
Yeah.
So that's an important piece of
Identifying your feelings.
Yes.
And we talked a little earlier, they're really not right or wrong, but they're there, and then how do you choose to deal with them?
Right.
And recognizing that.
And what would that look like if you had a student that was experiencing anxiety and they're in the moment, and my mouth is dry, I feel like my heart's pounding, and you know, they identify these symptoms. I feel like I'm going to die. I feel like I can't breathe. Oh, wait a minute. That's anxiety. Okay. It's anxiety. All right, I know what that is. I'm not going to die from this. It will
Although you
pass.
feel like you
right,
are, yeah.
right. And that's wonderful that they will be able to calm themselves and to find that inner strength, and be able to apply that in situations.
Learning the tools, as you said, you're teaching them
Yes.
tools to be able to apply to those other areas.
I'm Max, and I just finished my first year of my college education. And
Graduate of Cranford High School.
yeah, I was here for high school. In terms of mindfulness, I definitely use some of the meditation techniques that we practice here. I've carried those over. It's hard, and especially I feel like if I haven't done it for a while and then getting back into it, it's a little bit harder. But I don't know, it usually works for me, just sitting quietly, because especially at school, I'm so busy all the time. Like there's some days where you're just going the entire day and you don't really have any free time. And so then if you have a couple of those in a row, or especially an especially busy week, then it's easy to get overwhelmed. So sometimes I have to sort of take a step back and just like chill for a second and sort of put things in perspective. Like, I don't know, you have to realize you gotta give yourself time, you know. And also I tried journaling for the first time the other day, and that actually really helped me. I don't know, I was skeptical, but I just started writing, and then it was good.
Yeah, excellent. They talk about that brain connection when you're actually writing things out. I don't know exactly the science behind that, but that would be an interesting thing to look up.
Yeah, a couple of all of my classes that I took they wanted you to take notes in a notebook rather than on a laptop,
Interesting.
because
I think
of
you
all
remember,
studies
yes.
that are proven or something.
Yeah, definitely.
In my second semester, I was especially stressful, and so I guess in February or something, I started every night before I went to bed writing down good things that happened that day, just things that I was grateful for that day. And so I kept doing that like every day through the end of the semester. And I definitely noticed that I was feeling better after a couple of weeks of doing that. And it also helped me just every day I'd be more in the moment looking for little things that I'd be like, oh, I have to write down my list tonight, like what's going on right now. Or I would just notice things more, little tiny things that would make me feel better just during the day. Even if I didn't end up writing them down later at night because I forgot, like in the moment I would realize them and recognize them. And that was good.
Hi, I'm Alana. I'm also a CHS graduate. I just finished my first year of college as well, and mindfulness was something that I never really used in high school because I was always stressed all the time and always had a lot of things to do, so I thought there was no way to fix that. And I kind of, looking back, I wish I had started earlier because it probably would have helped me through a lot of crazy busy times in my life. But once I got to college, I realized that I was getting a little burnt out, and first semester just happened upon an email from our school's Office of Health Promotion about like how to manage your stress, and I decided to give it a try finally. So since then I've been journaling every night. I just write as much or as little as I feel I need. I plan out my schedule for every single day during the school year, like what I need to get done. I create lists for myself, goals for myself. And it's been really helpful in kind of reshaping the framework of like how I think about my days and like what I can accomplish. I used to get really distracted by like my social life or my phone or things like that, and now I feel a lot more engaged and present when I'm hanging out with my friends or when I'm in class, and it's definitely helped my focus a lot more. Definitely more grateful for everything that I have, and it's a great strategy for me to just keep myself in line while I'm at school, and even like when I'm at home I kind of dial it back a little bit because I don't need to be so scheduled, but it's still a part of my life and helps me through very difficult times.
Just again about the framework of the class. So this year it's on Wednesdays. Do students have to sign up ahead of time? Is it a 6-week, 8-week, how does that work?
Yeah, that's a little bit challenging about this particular program because it is offered throughout the year every Wednesday for that lunch block. We've gone to a block schedule this year. So some students halfway through will have lab. Some students, it's an opportunity for them to meet with a teacher, to get extra help, to go to the library.
Right, that's what the
that
principal
sort of thing.
had told us.
So the class is interesting and challenging in that students are coming in and out all the time. So I never really know who will be here. They don't need to sign up ahead of time. It's a no stress situation. They can buy their lunch or bring their lunch, and they come here and we talk.
So what parts of the brain does
Absolutely.
mindfulness kind of tap into?
Yeah, well, I'm not a neuroscientist, but the nurse part of me wants to know how this works.
Mm-hmm.
How does it work? Don't just tell me that it does. So in doing some research and being trained through Mindful Schools, which is a wonderful science-based program, to make it very simple, there's the amygdala, which is your fight, flight, or freeze, right? And when that's triggered, you're fearful, and you fight, flight, or freeze. And you don't think, you're not your best self in that state. There's no thinking about it.
Right.
No one has to teach you how to get angry. You just get angry, you're there, right? So practicing mindfulness, and it is a practice, it doesn't happen the first time, you are allowing yourself that little bit of space, that little bit of pause in between the stimulus and the response. Why don't we do a sit, all right? And we call it a sit in mindfulness. It's a little different from a meditation because the definition of mindfulness is paying attention in the present moment on purpose without judging yourself. So there's a couple of just little things. You sit with your 2 feet flat on the floor. And the only reason we have a particular way of sitting is so that you don't fall asleep. And if you did, that's not terrible either. So I have a bell here just to signify the beginning and the end, so you know what's going on and you'll know when to open your eyes if you choose to close them. So your back is straight but not rigid, just kind of supported by the chair. And this will be just a couple of moments of a break in your day, all right? So if you want to, you can allow your eyes to close, but that's an option. And your 2 feet are flat on the floor. And just start by taking a nice deep breath. and for just a moment have a little bit of gratitude for yourself for doing this exercise and being present here and giving yourself this break in your day. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
So Kerry, thank you so much for your time today. This was very fascinating, and I'm encouraging our audience to do a little research on their own for the future.
Yes.
I know you're talking about getting involved with the middle schools, and we appreciate you bringing your wonderful talents and gifts here to the Cranford High School, and continued success, much continued success with your program.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Thank
joining
you
us.
so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
This is Donna Vopel, TV 35, an episode of In the Schools.